95% of traders fail and only 5% actually make it. But what separates the 95% from the 5%? There are many reasons behind this, and it can vary from having a lack of strategy or a real edge, over trading and emotional decisions, poor risk management, and also unrealistic expectations, and also no journaling or feedback review. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into each of those topics and really understanding and breaking down what you can do to get ahead of 99% of others to finally reach the top 5% of traders. So firstly, the lack of a real strategy or edge. This can be solved very, very easily. It's super simple. All you need to do is pay for a mentor, right? You might not want to hear that. You might think, okay, I can just go off and watch YouTube videos all day long and I'll become profitable. Can you do that? Yes. Will it take a lot of time? Yes. The goal here is to get profitable as fast as possible. Obviously, we don't need to rush the process, but it's always nice to speed it up. Go on YouTube, go on social media, find someone that you know is reliable and trades the way that you exactly want to trade, and then just give them your money, right? Give them your money. Doing this will really make you lock in because you're spending money out of your own pocket. So there's no reason why you shouldn't show up every single day, consume all of their content, be taking notes of the content and really applying it while backtesting and forward testing. And also, why would you not want to pay someone that is already in the position that you want to be in and that has gone through all the hardships and efforts of getting to that place? It's just going to speed up your process entirely and cut out a lot of noise that you really don't need to go through. Once you have got that down, once you have found the concepts and created a model, a very simple model, by the way, like a model doesn't have to be complicated at all. The easier, the simpler, the more repeatable the model is, it's going to allow that model to be a lot easier refined and relieve a lot of stress from yourself when actually coming into the charts every single day. Just so you know, you're looking for a very simple setup rather than waiting for 5, 6, 7 confluences to occur before you can even think about entering a trade. So once you pay for that mentor, develop your own model, this is then when you can work on the emotional, discipline, psychology side of things within trading, because it's useless trying to start with those first if you don't actually have a model that you're going to follow. And also having that model that you do follow day in and day out is more likely than not going to remove most of the psychological problems that you face. For example, not knowing when to enter a trade, being hesitant to enter a trade, over risking on a trade. All of those problems are going to go when you have a simple model backed by data. All you've got to do is show up every single day, follow only that model, and that is it. But if you are still having psychological problems, emotional trading, over leveraging, there are a few things that you can do to prevent that, or at least help to prevent that. And that is fix your life outside of the charts. The way that your life looks outside of the charts will directly impact the way that you trade on the charts. So you must live a healthy lifestyle, consume healthy food, do some sort of sport, make sure your body is active, wake up at a reasonable time, don't go to bed too late. All the simple stuff that everybody goes on about, but it really is true. Obviously, you don't need to be waking up at like 4 a.m. every single morning. But 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning is pretty reasonable. Make sure the first thing that you do when you wake up, go do some sports, go hit the gym, eat some good food. And then by the time you get onto the charts, you're going to feel refreshed, energized, and awake, as opposed to going to bed super late, only getting 3-4 hours of sleep, just eating absolute junk. You're just going to feel really groggy and you're just going to want to get it out of the way as fast as possible. Therefore, you're just going to rush the process while you're actually on the charts. So make sure you fix your life outside of the charts, and that will directly impact your performance on the charts. The next thing I do want to touch on is having poor risk management. Now, this really depends on your situation, to be honest. Some people, trade personal accounts. Some people trade funded accounts. Some people, if they lose a funded account, that will affect them very, very badly in terms of the financial side of things. If blowing up a funded account directly affects you financially, then it probably isn't the best time to be buying that funded account. I would only purchase a funded account if you felt comfortable with losing it. The way that I like to approach funded accounts is on the challenge phase, I like to try get them passed as fast as possible. So I'll try to pass them on futures in 1 to 3 trades. And then of course, once the account is passed, then you can lay back on the risk. Obviously, I like to risk around 0.3 to 0.6% on my funded accounts. And this ties into the unrealistic expectation side of things. You may see on social media while you're scrolling, people hitting 50, 100, 150,000 payouts, and they're actually doing that all on 1 to 2 accounts. But that isn't the way you should be approaching funded accounts. What you should really be thinking is, okay, I can risk 0.3% on a 50k account, for example, which obviously may not seem like a lot just from one account. But the thing is, you shouldn't only be using one account. Like when you can get to the next level, Go for 5 accounts, go for 10 accounts, go for 20 accounts. Think about it, $800 across 10 accounts is actually $8,000. So you can still be risking that very minimal 0.3%, which means it's going to take you many trades before actually blowing up that account. And the reward that you're going to get for that trade is going to be very, very massive due to the fact that you are trading across 10 accounts. So the real problem that you're facing is not having enough capital, which of course can be fixed by purchasing more funded accounts, but only when you feel you are ready to begin copy trading those accounts, and only if it's not going to affect you psychologically and financially if you do end up blowing up those accounts. Because let's be real, it's going to happen. Not everybody's going to have a 100% win rate. Even your favorite influencer, even myself, I still blow up accounts to this day, but I understand each account blown up is a lesson learned and also just a low inside of my journey, which is usually followed by a pretty big high right after. And last but not least, I do want to touch on the fact that a lot of traders don't review their trades or give feedback on their own trades. So this is one of the most important things, and it's something that I actually wish I got told a lot earlier on within my trading journey, is you must be journaling absolutely every single trade that you take, and sometimes even the trades that you don't take. If you think you're about to take a trade, just write down why you was about to take the trade. But either way, journaling as a whole, super, super important, even just for collecting data, just for finding out the things that cause your model to lose, the things that cause your model to win more times than lose. For example, you may take most of your losses on a no news Monday. So what can you then go ahead and do once you've got, of course, big enough sample size of data? Obviously, if you lose 3 trades on a no news Monday, don't just remove that completely from your model. But if you've reviewed trades for maybe 3 to 6 months now, and you are finding that you are consistently losing on no news Mondays, then super simple, just go ahead, don't trade no news Mondays. Very, very simple solution. That in turn is going to increase your win rate, which will directly affect your psychology positively. So if we compare a trader that journals absolutely every single one of their trades, as opposed to someone that doesn't journal a single trade at all, who do you think is going to be in the better position? Who do you think is going to have more confidence in their model? Who do you think is going to be able to increase their win rate, their RR over time? It's going to be the person that journals, obviously. And also, while journaling, just write down a small note of how you felt as well, before and while inside of that trade, because understanding your own emotions is a very, very important thing within trading. Because if you don't understand how you are feeling emotionally, how are you ever going to work on that? How are you ever going to be able to fix that? And I know that you guys watching this video now can relate to absolutely every single topic that I just touched on. But don't worry, I was in that same position. But fast forward a little bit over 2 years, and look where I'm at now. I fixed absolutely every single one of those problems using the solutions that I just told you guys about right now. Because honestly speaking, it isn't the strategy, the concept, the model that you are trading that is making you fail as a trader. It truly is the things outside of the charts and the psychological side of things within trading. So if you can just work on those while having a simple 2 to 3 concept model, your trading is going to go from this all the way up to there. And you are truly going to thank yourself for making the change as soon as possible. Why would you delay these things? I've literally told you guys your problems to your face right now, and you're just going to sit there and listen to me speak about it while not taking any actions upon that. If that is the case, then you truly won't make it as a trader. So in summary, start tracking every single one of your trades. Make sure you're living a healthy and happy lifestyle off the charts. Make sure you have a simple, repeatable entry model. Formulate a risk management plan that you're going to follow day in and day out, and pay for a mentor which is in the position where you want to be. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, don't go on social media and believe everything that you see on there. Most of the people that post on there are just lying to your face. So please do yourself a favor. Don't believe everything that you see online. And with that being said, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. New style of content for myself. So please do let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this style of content. And if you'd want to see more of my personal lifestyle content and the type of video where I'm just speaking one-to-one, face-to-face with you guys, I'd appreciate a like and a subscription. And don't forget to check out my social medias along with my premium membership and one-to-one mentoring group down below in the description. I'll see you all later and take care.